Y'all check in one time. Where Alabama at? Alabama in the building? I know Columbus is in the house. If you are from Columbus, chime in what neighborhood you are from. We want to know where everybody's from, what they represent. And like Miss Franki said, you going by Franki or Francine today?
I think Franki. Yeah, Franki's good.
Okay, Franki. Okay, this is about the Kanye West trip to the White House and his rant, whatever you want to call it. I mean, me personally, I think it was self-serving. We want to know what you guys think as well. We basically got to outline some things that we're going to touch bases on and talk about when it comes to what he did and how it really affects our community, because I think sometimes that people, what happens is when these rappers and entertainers speak, they think they speak for the masses.
Right.
And this case right here, that's not true. I think he's speaking mainly for Kanye in the audience for the guy in the Oval Office, wherever they got their meeting at, the White House. But let's give a quick rundown of some of the things Kanye has been involved in when it comes to politics, starting in 2005.
Right. I mean, I think everyone remembers the infamous Hurricane Katrina fundraiser where he and Mike Myers stood there. I've always laughed at Mike Myers' face when that happened. I mean, it was almost like his head just snapped over, like, what? Like, what's happening? He couldn't believe this was happening and why he was a part of it. But in that instance, I think Kanye was, at that time, he really was kind of speaking for the residents of Katrina and just, voicing that concern of what we all saw, the horrific events of Hurricane Katrina, how the residents there were kind of left, and it took so long for aid and assistance to get down there. And I mean, he simply said, George Bush doesn't care about black people. And I think that is like a quote of a decade, of the 2000s, when you hear someone even talk about that.
Old Kanye.
That's old Kanye, right? That's old Chicago South Side Kanye.
Okay.
You know.
Moving from there.
I think he took everyone by surprise when he publicly, he really had a problem with President Barack Obama, which was, kind of took him out of left field. But I think it was from Obama calling him a jackass, from him overtaking the VMAs and deciding that Taylor Swift should have gotten it.
That was a jackass move.
It was, but he was kind of right now. Come on now. I mean, single ladies. That was like the song of the century. That's at everybody's wedding. I mean, I didn't understand that either, but I think the way he went about it is probably what bothered. And I think it's also notable to add on that between those times he lost his mother, between that 2005 incident and the 2009 incident. And so I think that's kind of where we saw the shift in Kanye. And then of course he and Kim got together and became this supernova of celebrity that everyone watches every week and
But
sees.
he's always lived in Jay-Z's shadow with him and Beyonce. I think he wanted to be on that level, but he never quite. And he's right up underneath him as a hip hop couple. I think they're powerful too, but he's not holding Beyonce.
Well, I think not powerful, but definitely in being able to touch them and see them, because they're on TV every week, you know what I mean? So it's a little bit more access than I think we've ever been allowed with Beyonce and Jay-Z. So it's just
That's what I like about Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Me too.
Everybody's business out in the street.
Right, me too. Everyone knows I'm definitely in the beehive. So, and then Kanye versus America, we have in 2015, where during his infamous VMA rant, where he decided that he was going to run for president in 2020. So this should be interesting in the next 2 years. It seemed so far away back then. Remember?
He got with Trump. No, Trump is the lame duck president. So how is that even possible? Not to the next one. I mean, that sounds weird now, but.
Right. I think we all thought it was so crazy when he said it until you fast forward and Donald Trump is our president.
Exactly.
Or is the president. He's not my president. I don't know about you, but he's not.
Sound like Angela Rye.
I'm sorry, he's not my president, okay? And then we go to 2016, where he's always just been very vocal about people not accepting him and maybe not accepting him into the fashion industry when he wanted to be a part of the fashion industry. And then, of course, his fans. During the presidential election, where he just started on that rant during his whole, I think it was what was the album? Oh gosh.
Man, stop, this is the home. I don't even know.
Pablo. It was during the Pablo tour. He went on the whole rant where he kind of put he and Jay-Z's business out and that they weren't hanging out.
Jay-Z and all that crazy
Right. And then he just started talking about how he would have voted for President Trump if he had voted, which I thought that was just a ridiculous comment. And you know, as many of his comments have been very ridiculous. And then, of course, you know, he was having problems with the paparazzi and kind of morphing into Kim's lifestyle of her reality TV lifestyle
and not the body shame. We got fat.
Yes, that's about the time he got fat and apparently had liposuction at some point.
Rich people stuff.
Rich people's problems, right? And then we fast forward to now where he is kind of fodder for Saturday Night Live or many of the political pundits on CNN. We just hear there's always something going on with Kanye. So, you know, and then his last antic, and because that's what I call it, is totally an antic, is that the Make America Great Again and his support, his public support, and kind of doubling down on the support. Like even after the last time, you know, T.I. kind of came to his aid, he did an interview with Charlamagne the God, and you know, it was just so many things going on, but and people kind of had his back for that. But I think this time, you know, we're kind of having to call a spade, and also in that time, we're learning that he does suffer from mental illness, and I think that that's an important conversation and something that we have to take into consideration. So how much of
crazy.
how much is mental illness, and how much of it is just, you know, limelight seeking?
He's smart.
Clout chasing.
He's smart, and you know those him and President Trump. I think they're the two of the same type of people. They knew those cameras was going to be there, and they everything that's happening now, they knew it was going to happen. They knew this was going to be a big press thing. They knew people like us would be talking about it.
Right.
But that doesn't make it right. That's just some of the things that he was saying. And that even the stuff about Hillary and stuff, that's stupid stuff. About invisible plane, the hat making him feel like a fictional character, Superman.
Yeah.
And even as I know we're going to touch on some of these points, even as far as, you know, the Larry Hoover thing, I feel like it's probably hundreds of people he could have chosen that deemed might be locked up over something real minor and got a lot of time for it. Maybe get caught with like some weed and get a life sentence over a gangster. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not putting Larry Hoover down, but this man's a killer.
Right.
He's had people killed, and you know, he could have picked somebody like his wife did. She picked somebody that was, you know, deserving of a presidential pardon, and it worked. And I just can't see President Trump getting Larry Hoover pardoned. That was a wasted visit. That was a wasted person you tried to get. So I mean, all that was just to bring light to Kanye. So.
Exactly, and I think that's probably maybe some of the battle, the internal battle we have as rational thinking people, is that some of the things he brought up are issues that affect Black and brown people in America.
Like what?
I would think like stop and frisk and police tactics that are used in our communities. I think that that's something that definitely needs to be addressed. I believe that the 13th Amendment and the fact that, you know, now we're legalizing
the 13th Amendment kind of crossed
up.
Oh,
he had it all jacked up. I was like,
and this is going to be, let me get to my, and I'm a member of this page in Columbus called the Columbus Concerned Citizens page, and those people, those
are your friends,
the alternative Americans, they are crazy, and they always try to pick and choose what kind of person that I am. You're progressive, they don't know me like that. They don't know my political views, and this is what I was going to say about stop and frisk. I am probably more a little bit to the right on that than most black people.
Right.
And I'm gonna tell you why. If you're in a neighborhood where constantly people are getting killed, shot, robbed, something has to be done. You can't just not do nothing.
Right.
And I use myself as an example. I got pulled over by the cops on Buena Vista Road in Columbus, Georgia. And I don't smoke marijuana, do nothing like that. And the cops asked could they search my car. Now it was probably all in my rights to tell them no and everything like that. But I just weighed the odds and just what is gonna hurt? I know nothing's in here. What is gonna hurt me just to let them do it? When I did it, they didn't get halfway done and they just stopped. They saw my demeanor. They could just tell that this guy got nothing on. Going back to stop and frisk, if you stop somebody and it's gonna save a life or it's gonna scare people enough so I can't be packing or I can't be holding on in public like this because the cops might come up and find my gun. I think that's a good trade-off to save a life. Even though it's proportionally black, but with me, the crimes being committed by proportionally blacks in black neighborhoods. So I mean, to do nothing is a losing battle. So I mean, so that's why I say I'm a little to the right. And it might be a situation where they get harassed by bad cops, but if you get searched and you don't have a gun, what have you lost?
I can't agree.
I understand that.
Let me tell you why I can't agree with that.
Would you rather lose a life?
I would not rather lose the life, but what I do believe is that as professionals in law enforcement, that there are other tactics that you can use besides stop and frisk. There are other avenues they can take, and with the climate that we're in right now, with our black men being killed on the side of the road, on traffic stops, people being killed because they have a cell phone in their hand. No, I'm not comfortable with giving you that allowance
but I got stopped and frisked,
being able to stop and frisk.
And it went, I mean, I was literally out of there in 5 minutes. So I mean,
but why should you have to? Why should you have to?
I was stereotyped by the Columbus Police Department. They saw me. Look, I ain't gonna lie, I didn't have my seatbelt.
And that's a very noble. I want to say that's very noble that you feel like, oh, it's just 5 minutes. I'm just gonna, and that's cool. But
Chicago is a whole different type of monster. I mean, you got 400, 500 murders a year. That's more than one person getting killed a day. So we can't even fathom what some of those neighborhoods are going. But we'll keep it moving. That's a
whole other shot.
Back to Kanye.
I'm gonna have to get my.
Oh yeah, they
don't agree with that.
Some of the people suffer from with that PTSD, like
Absolutely.
It wasn't because of the killing that goes on in the neighborhood. But back to your boy Kanye.
Okay. Because I don't want us to distract from the fact that Kanye went into the White House and made a complete mockery of the whole process of going to talk to the president and bringing issues that are important to our community. He had an opportunity. And instead of bringing someone maybe who could help him, he brings what's the guy's name?
The football player.
Yeah.
Jim Brown.
Jim Brown. I was just, James Brown, Jim Brown, whatever. All I know is that he had absolutely no business being there. And as well as Kanye. Like if there was going to be representation of our community and to address some of the issues we have, those two are probably the least likely candidates that should.
They don't represent the majority of black people. Okay, so I don't know if are we right here with Kanye's wife, but to add on to that comment right there, I watched, hey, Davo, what's the dudes, New York dudes, the DJs, one of them's like a light-skinned black dude.
DJ Envy.
DJ Envy.
Not them, the other dudes, two, what's their name? One of them real close with Kaepernick. And Kanye actually tried to get Kaepernick.
And Charlamagne.
Not them, it's two other ones. Maybe Hot 97, maybe? Ebro, that's him. Them boys.
Okay.
They said Kanye called them and tried to get Kaepernick to come with them instead of Jim Brown. And he was like, nah, that's not gonna happen. He was like, why? It's ain't got nothing to do with you. Like, no, we rep for him and we're not gonna let you use him as a political pawn. I think Trump is playing as like a horn and Kanye don't see it. Because he's just thinking about himself, but Trump is playing his card. He's playing his Trump card.
Well, let me tell you, when you talk about strategy and going in to talk to the president, it's about leverage. You don't have any leverage. You're just a show bunny at that point. If you go into a conversation, if I come to you and I say, hey, I need a photographer, and I'm having this huge event, and I want to look great, and I need you as a photographer, but I want you to do it for free. You're not going to get anything out of it, Terrence. What are you going to say to me?
I'm gonna say
I
like
love
refer
you,
to
but
somebody else, but
I love you, but
exactly. So
however,
that's how Kaepernick can't look at that. Like how that's
what
gonna
are we
make
getting out of it?
exactly. You didn't call this man everything but a child of God. You didn't got the man banned from the NFL. You did so much. So how is that a win for him to come see the president?
And not even a win for him. You say you're going for our community. What did it gain the community for Kanye West and Jim Brown to sit there in that moment and have this, other than this public spectacle that's been going on, a rant. It was a rant. It was no preparation. There was literally no point to it, because even his points didn't have a point. So it was ridiculous for them to be there. And I think Kaepernick's team was very wise to say, but I mean, I don't even say wise. That probably wasn't even a topic of discussion. I'm sure that was not even a topic of discussion.
I want anybody who's watching this, hit the like button if you think Kanye should have went to see Donald Trump at the White House, and hit the dislike, the angry face if you think he should have stayed his ass at home like I think he should have did.
I'm fairly certain of where that poll was going to go.
Yeah, me too, because, I mean, his wife, like I said, what was the lady name with the drug charges?
Right. I think that,
Alice Marie Johnson. She had a life sentence for, I think one of her kids or grandkids is a football player or something like that. But non-violent drug charges, and Kim campaigned for her to get a pardon from the president, and it worked. They're not going to let that gangster out. Kanye screaming about. They're not going to let him out. That was
a wasted visit. But I do think, which this is also a whole different show, but I think there's something to be said for even that situation coming about. I feel like, what was the point of that? What was the point of, what are the implications of it being Kim Kardashian who went into the Oval Office and made that happen? How many other people have been advocating and asking and begging for pardons for people who are wrongfully convicted and sitting in prison, and then out of all of the requests that are on his desk, he's going to pick up, let me see, Kim Kardashian, yes, that's who I'm going to meet with.
Once again,
that's who I'm going to
it's
make
a Donald Trump reality show.
Right, it's like there's something to be said that he chose a celebrity, that he chose a white woman, that he chose this particular celebrity to come in and be the person, to be the catalyst of change. And I'm not buying it.
I guess if you look at it that way, that's kind of a good thing that she was able to secure the release of this particular.
For Alice, that's a good thing. Yeah.
And like you said, with all the other people who've been campaigning for years, and even the people, because I heard it was a documentary on her, and I wonder if I'm not mistaken, I might be. I think her grandson is a football player.
Okay.
They've been trying to get her out. She didn't snitch. Basically, that's how she got the life sentence. And like you said, they've been trying to get her out for years. And for this lady to be able to walk up there to the president and boom, next thing you know, she's out. I mean, that's a good thing. So I mean, looking at that way, the influence worked. But all the other stuff he was talking about, the airplane, the invisible airplane, and all the other stuff, I thought it was just a wasted trip and a spectacle for the right. That's what I think. Him even putting down Hillary Clinton. I think they were supporting her at first, weren't they?
Yes.
I know Kim Kardashian
was supporting her
at
one point, and I think I mean, I don't know where the shift happened, but I think it's that somewhere in his mind he feels.
How does that hat make you feel?
How does
that make America great again hat make you people in Facebook land feel? Type it in the comments. How did that hat? When you see that hat, make America great again. Like, we're not great now. Like, what does that mean?
Well, I just want to know, when were we great? When was it great for black and brown people? It just has not been great for black. Let's call a spade a spade. It has not been great for black and brown people, and that's the problem with that whole slogan, is that you're talking about a slogan that's supposed to represent America, and it totally neglects a huge population by saying, let's make America great again. So when was it great? Was it great when black people were in slavery? Was it great when you came here and took the land from the Indians? Like, when was it great? Going out for our Native American.
You're right, and it's a contradiction because he's quick to say African American unemployment is at an all-time low.
Thanks to Obama.
If anything,
thanks to President Obama.
But with that being said, anything should be great now. If the stats and all the numbers you always throw out to the public are true, it should be great now. But you want to take it back to another time when people were,
Well, the thing about statistics that I think everyone has to know is that when you see a statistic, it didn't happen yesterday. A statistic is what happened a year ago, 2 years ago, and the numbers are just coming in. So when he's, raving about these great numbers and unemployment being down and home ownership being up and all these things that he's claiming or that he's taking credit for, these are not things that he put into place. These are actually things that he's trying to tear down. Like more people being insured. Like more people are insured now than ever before. Okay, well it's because of Obamacare, or more notably the Affordable Care Act that that many people are they're trying to dismantle, that many people are taking advantage of, but steadily supporting the dismantling of it, which is just mind-boggling to me. Like, how do you not have insurance, and this is how you're getting insurance, and you're against Obamacare because you don't understand that they're the same thing. It's ridiculous to me.
And he's using Kanye as the token Negro, just like Don Lemon. I don't know if Don Lemon said it. Someone on this show did. That's exactly what he's doing.
It's a minstrel show. It's like the court gesture, being there, and everyone's just sitting around. Oh, let's give him 20 minutes to basically make a fool of himself, and that's exactly what.
And then he went to Uganda a couple of days ago, and he gave away shoes. I'm like, dude, why do you build a school? And I'm sure he's done stuff like that. I'm sure Ye has invested in education somewhere. But
maybe somewhere.
You gave away all those shoes. Why you didn't, build a school or help do like Akon be doing? You know what I'm saying? Stuff Akon. I know he ain't got more money than Akon. Akon invests in Africa, and not to say you have to do it in Africa because he's a United States citizen, but just investing in in poor people, and not trying to make a big spectacle of everything that you do. Everything doesn't have to be cameras and everybody's just all eyes on you. Just work and do your thing, and what you do in the dark will come to light.
Right. I think one of the other quotes that a lot of people have been talking about is the whole trapdoor situation.
I think he tried to tell you to turn the camera on. I think he said cut off.
No, it's on.
Okay, yeah, that's keep cutting out. I'm just trying.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, gotcha.
We had a little malfunction, y'all.
That's okay.
But in closing,
So we real.
Yeah,
live.
we live. And y'all see me eating this muffin. I'm so hungry. I haven't eaten so long.
You look at him eating anything but
and
grape nuts and berries.
These muscles gotta get
What? Do you even have a home, or do you just have a cot at the gym?
I just stay in the gym parking lot.
Oh my gosh.
That's it.
I'm just gonna come visit.
Oh, good. This one, it says interrupted, but I mean, it only does it maybe every a couple of minutes, but it'll catch up with it once it's done. Like it'll catch up with what you did say. Sure.
Okay. Well, I think we're right here about the backlash.
So for thought and discussion, I think there, as I was kind of digging, I told you it was a rabbit hole. Like once you start clicking on one story, it's like another story and another story and another story. And I think some of the things that kind of caught my thought process is, what if this had been anyone else, would anyone have been accepted to talk about these issues with President Trump? Because what we've seen throughout this administration is that every time anyone attempts to meet with him, it's like ostracized. There's no discussion. We're going to cancel Steve Harvey. We're going to cancel Jim Brown. We're going to cancel Kanye. Would it be acceptable for anyone? Oh, the pastors that went in and spoke with him. So is it acceptable for anyone? Would this have been acceptable what would have been the acceptable route for
It's
this
going
conversation?
to take Tupac.
To come back from the dead?
What?
I believe that, yes. I do believe that.
We're gonna, whether it's warranted or not, we're gonna ask what are the intentions of anybody who meets with that man from the black community. I'm sorry, the battle lines have been drawn. That's just what it is. He made it that way. He's made it that way from the same, some things he said about African American countries. I'm not African American, but black countries from like Haiti and Africa. Things he said about black American football players. Just the rhetoric that comes out of his mouth is he has drawn the battle line. So it's like, if you go see this man, you try to meet with this man, we're gonna ask what are your intentions, what are your alternative motives.
Because, I mean, do we think that he's going to do anything? I mean, just...
And I actually found a picture, I forgot the lady's name, he had, can you put it up, Trump's black girlfriend, keep it up on
What?
Yeah.
he had a black girlfriend. Yeah, I seen him.
Okay, I need to see this.
He had I posted it on, I don't know if I posted it on my Twitter or if I posted it on Facebook. I think I did post it on my Facebook, I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, there she go.
Let's see.
I don't know
Her name is Carrie Young.
Carrie Young.
Carrie Young.
Yeah, she's a pretty lady too.
She is gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
She
Trump
was
had
biracial.
Yeah, she was biracial.
Okay.
She was biracial. But you know, you biracial, you black. Like a
Yeah.
biracial, you black.
For sure.
So yeah, he had a little jungle people, but you know, once again, hey, what did they say about her?
Said this is YouTube.
It was like, I think right before Millennium, or right before his wife, and you know, he's been cheating on her with porn stars and everything, so.
Okay, so this is from the New York Times.
And I want to say he's with this young lady right here. I think she's a model
Okay.
out of New York, and he was with her before. So I mean, I don't think he cared that she was black. I think he really, you gotta have a certain beauty about yourself for him to, you know what I'm saying?
Or maybe he's just a misogynistic pig.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just, I mean,
Big freak.
that's what it is. That's what I'm going with. That I think any beautiful woman would probably do.
She said, he would say, "You're like Derek Jeter," and I would say, "Exactly." I never heard him say a disparaging comment towards any race.
That's disparaging.
Yeah.
You've never heard a disparaging comment, but his comment to her was,
Right.
"You're like Derek
Yeah.
Jeter." Bye. Goodbye. Close that. I'm done with that. I'm done with her. I'm done with the conversation. Bye, girl.
Okay.
Bye.
How do you personally feel about the Kanye rant? Do you think his visit was warranted? Do you think it helped African Americans standing with the president, or do you think it was something that Kanye used for self-serving and the president used for a photo op? Let us know in the comments. This is the Modish Lifestyle Podcast with White Girl Franki, and I appreciate you coming through.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
And look, I want to do this again with the next couple of, really soon, because I got another one I'm thinking about. My mind's wondering, we got to talk about the racist state of Georgia. And we are citizens of Georgia. We love our state, but this might be...
Tell them to go vote again.
Yeah, and make sure you go vote. The polls will be up. Make sure you go vote. But this might be the most racist state in the country.
That's right.
Think about what's going on now.
There are a lot of things going
All
on.
the voter suppression, is this going on anywhere? You don't hear it in the news no more.
And I really want to have it hooked up where we can share video.
Yeah, and I heard some old people was going to go vote, and they stopped the bus.
Wow.
And told them they could not go vote. I mean, it's getting ridiculous.
It is. Exactly.
The 70,000 votes that's been they took away. 50,000 votes. So 70% of those people are African American or Hispanic or something like that. So it seems like this Kemp dude is just pulling out all the stops.
All stops. And I mean, even his campaign ads have been just absolutely ridiculous. I saw one and it was just kind of falling into all of the stereotypes of Trump and his supporters, and I was just like, it was just to me in bad taste. Just the whole
Make Georgia great again.
The whole thing, exactly. And I actually took a picture of one in Alabama, in the Alabama race, and they have a political sign up that literally says "Make Alabama Great Again," and I'm like, again, when? When? And I mean, even with all of this going on, I think our biggest message is just for everyone to get out and vote. Early voting has started. It started on the 15th. It's going through the 5th. I think I put on here the 5th. Go vote, because I feel like if there's a problem, it gives us time to address it. It gives you time to address it and say, hey, what's going on? Why am I not registered? Why am I not able to vote?
And if this midterm election is like the biggest ever.
Absolutely.
Ever. So we need, if
It's
you ain't
gonna
got
be a
a
game
car,
changer.
call me. I ain't put my phone number out there. If you need to ride to the polls, call me. I will take you. I'll pick you up in my hoop and we'll go to the polls.
I know there are groups in Columbus. If you have a group that's offering rides to the polls, definitely hit us up in the comments. Let us know.
Yes.
Let the community know what you're doing so that people can take advantage of it. But the most important thing is just to get out there and vote. We can't get caught up into the things that are happening. And I feel like if we are not even attempting to vote, then how can we prove that these things are happening if no one's getting out there?
Sound like a rap to me. Modish Still Lifestyle. Our next podcast will be about the gubernatorial race in Georgia. And we'll be talking about Mr. Kemp and Mrs. What's her name?
Stacey Abrams.
Stacey. I've been getting her lady from Atlanta. She fine. One from Atlanta, man.
She's actually going.
I'm
Let me not throw that out here, but I hear that we may have our Keisha Bottoms moment. So that's all I'm gonna say. So let's all pray and hope it gets here.
And on that note, we gone. Break, cut. Not on that camera, but on that one. We out, y'all.